Welcome back to Ferocious Education. This is Zed. Today we're talking once more about BBIG Vinco Ventures. In this video, we're going to discuss the upcoming events that will change the stock price. So watch it to the end and let's jump right into this one. So I did talk about BBIG before. My last video is in the description below, and the latest news was actually in an S1 filing back on October 6th. In this one, they actually submitted two things, including a proxy that dated on September 15th, which is today. And in that, there was a bunch of votes that a lot of people were able to participate in. And in those votes, things included as directors' elections, voting on as well to appoint Markham LLP as an independent registered public accounting firm, and approving the equity incentive plan for 2021 for Vinco Ventures. So all that has actually passed through, but on the other part that we want to take a look at is what happens in the next few days. So we have the October 22nd date. That is critical for the record date for the TYDE spinoff dividend. If you haven't heard about the TYDE, the spinoff, we're talking a little bit about Cryptide. So Cryptide, this is the Ride Tide, blockchain disruption, ENFT.com, going platinum, and key follow-ups. We talked about all of these before in a few videos before. Now, into this one, you need to consider something called the ex-dividend date. And the ex-dividend date can be easily described by this small paragraph on Investopedia. So, ex-dividend describes a stock that is trading without the value of the next dividend payment. The ex-dividend date, or ex-date, is the date that the stock starts trading without the value of its next dividend payment. Typically, the ex-dividend date for a stock is 1 business day before the record date, meaning that an investor who buys the stock on the ex-dividend date or later will not be eligible to receive the declared dividend. So what does that mean? It means that you have to buy the stock 2 business days before that date. So currently you're looking into October 22nd. October 22nd is next Friday, a week from now. So you need to buy the stock before October 20th. And knowing that information, the stock price will fluctuate and differ from here till then. Currently, there's a nice jump that we've seen in this week, a really nice one from $5 almost to $9. But some people are not really anticipate or putting into consideration because maybe they haven't watched my videos or haven't really got exposure to ex-dividend dates and dividend dates. So that means coming in on the 18th and the 19th and the 20th, most likely we're going to still continue seeing that push of the stock price. The stock is expected though to drop around the ex-dividend date and afterwards as people who bought it for the dividends are starting to sell. But we're going to talk about that when times comes, and there's a lot of different factors included to that. Now, we also talked about Cryptide Marketplace and how they launch, they buy and sell, streaming platform, tokenization and securitization, and a lot of different things, including animated art, virtual reality, and everything that's actually mentioned onto here, including their tokenized Bitcoin mining environment that was launched for pre-sale on November 1st, 2021, with the end-to-end sale and service integration. So this launch itself is going to be massive. It's about the end of the month or 1st of November. So we're going to hear more about it closer to then. Before moving on forward, if you would like to see more contents like this, make sure to click the subscribe button on the bottom right corner and leave notifications on for this channel. It helps my channel quite a lot. Also, don't forget to drop a like if you actually enjoyed this video, and if you would like to join our Discord, feel free to do so in the description below, totally free. We're not trying to upsell you on anything. Now, the short selling activity has increased to around 45%, meaning that almost half of the float, or the entire float of the stock, is going towards the short selling side. Now, that on its own is massive. Vintel actually is mentioning that there's 0.58 days to cover for this one, and there's currently no shares left to be borrowed, and we're seeing around 50% of any given day's volume going towards the short volume out of the total dark pool volume. So institutional buyers as well, we see that a company here actually put in a position on the 14th. XR Securities LLC added a call on a put, and for the rest, on the 13th and the 12th, we see 2 positions liquidated, but there has been somewhat of activity as well in the last couple of weeks or so. And before we move on forward, We're going to be discussing ahead a little bit of how the stock would continue on to trade and some of the volume. So let's move on towards technical analysis. Now, from a technical analysis perspective, what we're seeing here is that the 30 EMA is actually above the 10 SMA, and all that kind of moving averages are kind of in a jargon on its own. And what you're able to see is that the stock is above all of these, and that on its own is bullish. The 80X is starting to pick up at closer to 20, which is starting to suggest that this is back on a bullish trend, and that is amazing to see. Now, in terms of the Williams percent R, which is very similar to the relative strength index, still shows this one to be a bit overbought, not as highly overbought as it was before, but a little bit, meaning there's more buying than selling activities in general. Now, in terms of momentum and MACD, both have actually gone towards the positive, suggesting a really nice push into this one and a refresher, to say the least. In terms of the stochastic fast and stochastic slow, they're both kind of going upwards at this level. That on its own is bullish. And it's really refreshing as well, again, to see that the stock is going to almost new highs and suggesting that this one might actually start seeing another leg up for this one. Similarly, volumes have starting to pick up back again, and that's a good thing. It's kind of an organic thing rather than a spike in volume, and we're able to see a slow, steady growth. Now, on the Fibonacci retracements, and the reason why I highlight this one is because institutional buyers and high-frequency sellers use it. Resistance currently is at 1005 and 1249 on this level, and 814, 680, 546, and 380 are all supports. Now, if you were to go ahead with just price line action, we're able to see that there is currently a strong resistance at the 839, above there, 880, and then 911, 956, going upwards to 1027, 1107, and then to the 1249. Supports, there is a critical support at the 814. If we break this one, we might be testing the 760s, and then down towards the 689, and then downwards to the 647, $6, and then 551, downwards to the 495, 444, 407, and then downwards to 370, followed by 323. Comes to the question, Ed, what do you think is going to happen here? Well, as we move forward towards that TYDE record date its own, there's going to be 2 business days before that for the ex-dividend date to be in effect. So most likely what's going to happen is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we're going to see kind of a spike in the price itself. It's going to continue to grow. And with a high short selling activity, I think a lot of short sellers aren't even anticipating that or putting that into consideration. They're thinking, oh, the stock jumped for no reason. But there is a reason for them to be scared early on next week. If I was short selling this one, I'll be terrified of this. And that is the stock will, a lot of people want to get that dividends spin-off shares, and that's amazing. And so currently, we do anticipate Thursday and Friday to be slower down or drop downs in price, but early on next week would be a jump. So make sure you share this video to spread the news on what the TYDE spinoff shares and how it's going to work. Also, drop a like to this video and have a wonderful day. Now, if you're still here on this video, make sure to drop down below and join our Discord. We have a lot of different things going on, including, for instance, members that gives picks for free. It's not pump and dumps, we just things we think about, swings, etc. We also have really exciting bots. You can actually use those ones. For instance, we're just testing out this bot, for instance, that gives you Fibonacci resistance points, activities, etc. And we have a bunch of free things, totally free. We run on tips here, and you can ask me questions, suggest stocks, etc. It's a really nice community that has been growing up very fast at a very good rate, and it's totally free. If you would like to join that one, feel free to do so in the description below, and have a wonderful day.